Oh, brother. How we doing? Hello. Hello, hello, hello. It's been... Um... Yeah, it's been weird. Been, interesting. Been fun. We're finally back playing Rocket League. Today is Monday, which means we are playing casual modes. We got two different heat seekers. We got Ricochet and Haunted Heat Seeker as well. I'm just making sure my stream info is correct actually before I do that. Alright, yeah. Stream info is correct. We are in fact playing Rocket League. Yeah, let's jump into some free play. Just fuck around until we get our first match. Not a whole lot been. Ooh, first match pretty quickly. Interesting. Here we go. Finally, yes. All right, so it is a kickoff game. Nice. I was about to say, hold on. What's going on here, Rocket League? What? This is USC. Why am I on 244? That's not me. Oh. I was about to say, who the fuck is on 280? But it's that guy over there. That 240 ping is fucking dangerous. It's that guy right there, right next to him. We'll just do it like that. I'm gonna go ahead and sit in here. I'm gonna wait for something to come our way. We're doing fine. Hell yeah, we got one to leave. That's fine. There we go. Damn. Oh, and we get our second goal. What do we got? What do we got? A little epic save. Oh, looks like they got a third man. As we get our third goal. We liking that. We liking that. What else we got? Come on, come on. We got this. Ooh. Okay. Oh my god, the guy on 240 fucking ping just scored a goal. I didn't know I actually played with, Kemper. That's interesting. That's apparently my third match with him. Oh, Savage Fam is also on, like, extreme fucking ping. I don't know 240. That's gotta be like EU, fucking like Oceania type shit. Fuck. I thought. Shit. Man's rocking a silver. Yeah, didn't even realize that blue was opponent team. I didn't even jump like a dumbass. Blue is bad. Oh boy. See where we go. Oh. And that's a number 5 goal. 4 for Gimpers. Beautiful. Beautiful. And that's a double commit from him. Alright, that's fine. We got it. We got it. Okay. Hey, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Hey, thank you for the follow, Bullet ABR, but not playing with anybody currently. I'm just playing casual. I probably should put in the title that I'm not playing with anybody. Oh boy. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me if they want to waste a full minute. Ooh, that one looks pretty interesting. Oh fuck. I fucking backflipped. That's not what you're supposed to do. Fucking just accidentally backflipped in the fucking middle of the goal. Yeah. It really looks like I know what I'm doing. There we go. Whew. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. There we go. Finish that game. Boom. Done there. Fucking fuck. Yeah, it's 3-0. At 3-0, I vote forfeit when it pops up. Um. Oop. Fucking accidentally hit my controller on the desk. That works. I almost got that fucking corner. Lucky he was slow on that. My question is, how's the guy that has fucking 240 ping going up for shit? Fuck! Oh, fuck. That was a corner. He found the corner. Oh, da-ba-ba-ba. That was more of like a guiding hand than anything else. Oh, he was up on the fucking backboard. Oh, did man really try and demo? Yeah, he was. That's funny. There we go. Nice little one in. Off the rooftop. Ooh. Good shit. We're getting somewhere. Fuck, I should have been expecting that. I don't know why I wasn't. No fucking way. God damn, really, fools? And that's the game. 3 to 5, and we back out. Alrighty. We didn't win that one, obviously, but we did pretty good. We had a really solid comeback. We almost got there, but nope, no cigar. Close, but no cigar. Ugh. Been mostly like working on like weird pinges and shit, just for like ball clears, and then also following the ball through the air. Oops. Just playing with the ball. Woo! I am playing with the ball. Boom, bitch. Get out of here. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, almost. Oh boy. Oh boy, indeed. This is the thousands range. And that's how you get punished for having two people up front. You only have one person defending, so the other person is left with shit like that. Fucking sucks, and I hate it, especially when your teammates aren't the best. Oh, one of them grew a brain and is staying mid. Jesus, that was fucking funny. Oh boy. That's sad. That wasn't even a very fast... Well, it was a relatively fast shot, but he wasn't even trying. Unless he was like, I don't even know if that squishy save would have helped. Damn. Okay. Bounce it. Bounce it. I was considering whether or not I should have gone up for it. I probably should have. Oh. Fucker. Yeah, that's the advantage of having a low car. Oh! I thought he was in one like the like an endo. Nah, Fan was in the Fennec. He just popped that shit off the back corner. Really, I got both of you again? Wrong way. Oh, nope. Apologies. That was the right way. I was thinking, fam. Hey, that's not the right way. Nope. Gotta go the wrong way to go the right way, apparently. Fam thought he could block me just by running in, just by doing that shit. It's not a rule in. Oh, are we wasting time now? Okay, that works. Oh, fuck. Oh, he got shit on. That poor guy. Absolutely took a dookie. Have I got that one? Yes, I have. Nope. Alrighty. And that's the game. I don't know why my nameplate wasn't popping up there. No, thank you. I am gonna jump into some Ricochet actually. Yeah, Ricochet. 3-on-3 Ricochet. Backwards goal real quick. Noise. It's okay, we'll be fine. What the fuck? No idea what the fuck I was doing there. Kinda looks like a flip reset setup, but no, I can't do flip resets. I can dribble a little bit. That's not dribbling, that's just the in and out. Alright. The fingies ain't working, so we're just gonna go and do some, just fuck around with the ball some more. Damn, that might have been a shot. Don't know exactly how I managed to, turtle and then come out like actually decent for aerial. Get out of here. Damn it. Yeah, that's something I want to work on, is my like off the wall hits and shit. I love that noise. That was like almost like a fucking volleyball sound. I love that. The ka-tank! The hollow in it. I understand it probably came from fucking the car. But that like hollow tank you get from like a volleyball, I love that shit. Was there fucking creaking in the wood? Or am I just fucking hearing shit? Huh. Alrighty. It has been forever and we still have not found a match. We're gonna go ahead and change the regions, add US West and Europe. But yeah, obviously people don't like Heat Seeker Ricochet. I mean, like, holy shit. How long have we been waiting for a match already? Ugh. Yeah, back. Oh, we got one. I think it's gonna be on EU though. Yep, it's EU server. Looks like me and Galdo, or yeah, Goldo, uh, are both fucking American. Man, they're really doing that shit in this game mode? You are a fucking sweat. Oh, it's a fucking champ, of course it's champ sweats. It's fucking casual, fam. Why are you sweating? It's not like this it's not like you can get an actual representation of skill in MMR and casual. Because quite frankly, I'm nowhere close to the fucking 1275 tag number that I have. Yet I easily play with people who also have that level in this game mode. But yeah, I'm not that skilled. So yeah, there's no fucking need to play per level or to the level or shit like that. Man just sweated the first fucking one. Oh shit. That's fine. Oh boy. I was about to say I feel bad. That one's fuck it. that one's fucking wild. Just seeing that shit, just watching it, honestly. I was like, after that, I knew it was going in. I fucking knew that after that second pole hit, it was going in. Holy. Of course, the fucking sweaty champ is creeping back up. Oh no. Don't tell me that was like the center of the goal. Fuck it. Everybody else wants to skip. I can't keep them waiting too long. But yeah, that's sad. Oh no. I misjudged this game. I thought it was gonna be a slow game that bled to death, but apparently we're just, after that first sweat, we all decided, you know, and of course I had to say something about it too. What the fuck? But yeah. Oh boy. Okay. Nope. I ain't gonna let you tie it up that fucking easily. Fuck you. Get your shitty ass out of here. Yes, good shit. That's fine. He's a dumbass. He didn't get it right. Whoo! Man was coming to take me out. Again! Looks like they're getting desperate. Ooh boy. Oh fuck. God damn it! If that motherfucker hadn't bumped me. Because I could have gotten that fucking save if that jackass hadn't fucking bumped me. That motherfucker better not be just sitting typing. If that motherfucker's just typing a long ass paragraph, I'm gonna be pissed. Oh no, really? Did that motherfucker really just go AFK to fucking AFK out? Just because I told him to not bump teammates? Wow. That right there is the perfect example of the report. And then you do intentionally idle. Because he was playing, and then he intentionally went idle right after I told him not to bump the fucking teammates. Because that's what he did. He bumped me. I told him, dude, don't do that shit. And then he went idle. And lost connection. Don't matter. We still won the game. But it's like, that's just like crybaby stuff, honestly. I'm not afraid to report someone on fucking Rocket League, because I have reported people a shit ton before, and I've gotten like notifications from Rocket League like, hey, this report you made has led to punishment of a player for unsportsmanlike, like not following the sportsman code or whatever, you know, the code of conduct, where basically the person was doing shit they shouldn't have been doing, and it was causing, and you know, it was like against the fucking rules. I fucking still haven't gotten that Switch Bowl. But yeah, I gotten notice, and that was on console when those came through. But yeah, don't ever be afraid to report someone on Rocket League for what they are doing. If they are just intentionally sitting still in the middle of the match, and then then they lose connection, you report that motherfucker for intentionally idling. You can also throw in the match throwing or match griefing if you want to. Like, well, if you actually do lose, you can throw those on there. Because the match was thrown and it was griefed as well. Technically, that match was griefed as well, and I should have put it there. But it was so close to the end of the match, there's no point in calling it match griefing. He just left right before the end of it. by going intentionally idle. And if you're wondering, like, oh, well, how else am I supposed to show that I don't want to continue playing Rocket League with a like, even though I've already used like my forfeit and it's already timed out and shit? You just stop playing aggressively. You just only focus on defense. You're not. You already decided, hey, I don't want to play against these guys, so you only restrict yourself to something that you're good at, basically. So, for example, for me, I'm very good at defense. I just automatically, whenever I'm done playing people, I just rotate back onto defense and let whoever else is with me play offense. And shit, every once in a while it leads to a comeback, and I'm just like, and it works out, which is nice. There are the times where it doesn't work out and it's still a loss. But yeah. Rotate into something that you like doing, and just stay there. Don't continue rotating. Just stop rotating once you get to the position you like. If you like being up front, don't ever fall back behind the other two people. You always want to be the most forward. If you like defense, never be in front of the second man. Or yeah, never be in front of anybody else. Always be behind them. Like me. I am as far back as fucking possible on the map. Because I'm preference defense. Ugh. And you know, every once in a while the other person will get the hint and they'll forfeit, and then you can all forfeit. But yeah, if you get like a 1 of 3 or a 2 of 3 forfeits, or like just, you know, anything like that, just show them with your actions by specifically staying on one part of the rotation. Yeah, I don't want to play this game. I don't want to play this specific game. I don't like this. I don't like how we're playing this or whatever. So I'm gonna play this how I like it. And if that works out, oh well. If not, oh well as well. But yeah, I just always rotate back onto defense. Most people don't rotate ever into defense. That's just how people are. They want the goals for themselves. They don't care about the saves and the shit like that. Saves, clears, nothing. Because I mean, sure, you can get a fuck ton in this game mode if you're touching the ball and a lot, and the other team's like good and actually on target and shit. But yeah, don't ever don't ever intentionally idle in game just because your forfeit didn't go through. It's an actual problem. Just contribute as much as you want to the match. Fuck. So, yeah, like I said, for me, my example was I would just always go and sit in the fucking goal, or play last man, you know, or like far back last man, basically. And just never come up for goals. I would only like clear the ball out. I would never like try and control the ball. Fuck. Whoa! I was lucky. I would never try and control the ball out of main field. I would always just boom it out and hope that one of them would be able to get or do something with the boom. But yeah, any of the things that you can see on the report screen, we'll just choose, nope, fuck, accidentally blocked him. But yeah, like any of those things that you see on there, you don't do, because there's something that if someone's like pissed off that they lost the game for, they can report your ass for doing, and that can lead to actual discipline, where like you're not allowed to play the game for a certain amount of time or some shit. Like, but yeah. One of the one thing I've kind of thought of, fucking bumper. You bumping bitch. One thing I always think about is like, if you want to play like a pro, you should act like a pro in games. What does that mean? You know, you shouldn't, I mean, you can forfeit, but like, you don't leave the game mid-match, because that's not good. You just leaving your teammates high and dry. You do your best not to bump your fucking teammates and steal their goals. Ooh. Flip off the wall. From 877. 877 catch now. Oofed, PJ 471 left from the other team. Oh, that was a diamond. Mystic LTM and Good Grizzly. Got Toy Soldier as well. Good Grizzly is the bronze and Rumble. What the fuck? I guess he just doesn't play it. Cause like, there's no fucking way you can be. Oh no, he's just a straight up silver. Like, unless he played his matches. No, because his ones is unranked and sits at a 623, but everything else is actually lower than 600. So, I guess that guy just doesn't fucking play anything but Heat Seeker. That's kind of interesting and cool. That's game. But yeah, I'm not gonna actually report this person, but like text harassment, verbal harassment, match throwing, griefing, cheating, intentionally idle, XP farming, inappropriate player name, inappropriate club name. So those two are, I've never actually used those. I don't give a shit what your player name is or what your club name is. I really don't. XP farming is basically the smurfing, where whenever you're like really high level or really high skill, you just go into lower level matches, play games to get XP. Because like the higher your score, the more XP you get. Attention idle, cheating, obviously. But yeah, you can report anybody but yourself. Which, I mean, it makes sense. Why would you report anybody but yourself? Well, why would you want to report yourself, I should say. Oh boy. Nope, no training. Oh boy. Oh, we get 877 again. And Good Grizzly again. Okay. Should be match 4 with it. Heli. Heal. I don't even... H-E-I-L. Heal? That's like the only way I can actually conceptualize in my brain how to say that, is heal. We Gucci. We Gucci. Damn it. Damn it. We not Gucci. Okay. I would have actually gone out wide on that, because that would have come in actually pretty close on the on the right post. What? Oh fuck! I think my flip fucked that. Damn it. I'm causing us to lose. I managed. Sorry. uh. Fuck. Fuck. I don't know why the fuck I'm so distracted. Or what even... Yeah, his fucking name. I keep thinking about Hihio Zabimaru from fucking Bleach. I don't know, like, why do I keep thinking about fucking Bleach at a time like this? God damn it, why am I bouncing around? But yeah, that guy's name keeps reminding me of Hihio Zabimaru. Ooh, good grizzly. Ooh, good grizzly. That's one good grizzly right there. Music kind of popping off too. Oh shit, we're getting close. Hey, Aaron's. Thank you for the follow. Bum. Let's see what. Alright, is 8-7 getting this? He is. Alright. 2.5 minutes to get 2 goals. 8-7 gets it. 877 cash now. Alrighty. Yeah, Pogo off the back. Of the pole right there. Little epic save. And as I get stuck. Whew. Oh, good grizzly. That was dirty. Oh, damn. 2 of them left. Oh, they forfeit after that? Bro, it was tied. Never have I ever won a tie by forfeit. That's crazy. Alrighty. So also, technically this is also online free play. Rocket League has already had online free play. It's just only been accessible whenever you're finding players for a match and you've already got players for the match. Like this. Because all three of us can interact with the ball and we can interact with each other. But there's no like goal explosions. Yeah, that was technically online free play. It's just, yeah, you can only access it before a match while you have like players for the match. And after a certain amount of players are ready for the match, they actually do it immediately pulls you out of the free play and locks you in place on field or in the drift woods. It was our home field. Alrighty. Oh hell yeah. Alrighty. Ooh, what we're doing? This is USC. I really need to fucking add that guy, because me and him played a lot together. I mean, I'm just gonna sit as like backup basically. Oh my god. Hold the fucking phone. I'm pretty sure that one was like on target. Fuck. Oh boy. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Send that around town. Send that back that way. Really? I fucked up my wave. He's actually just sitting there trying to get the goals. What a fucking scumbag. Yeah, now that there's 3 fucking players, you can't do that. That's what happens. Wow. That was 8-7, I bet. Hold on. I bet if it doesn't go through, he leaves. Or just stops playing. Alright. That, not anymore. But, yeah, if that hadn't had gone through and he hadn't scored that goal, he might have actually left. Alrighty. Tied at 2.5 minutes. That's fine. Haha. Oh yeah. That's our 3rd goal, which means we are winning. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Tomorrow I am streaming Rocket League Ranked. I just got hella bumped. Bro, that's always, it's always, one of them always looks so graceful going up for it, and then and then, you know, the blue and then the second red just smash into him, and it's like, holy shit. Okay. It's not worth much. Get out of here with that shit. Honestly, bro. You're not even that good. See, look at that shit. Not even good. Ow. Fuck. My my statements have been proven false. Loaded snipe is that good. Because quite frankly, I thought I had his ass covered, but... What the fuck? Oh, fuck. Yeah, if one of them wants to forfeit now, I wouldn't be opposed. Oh. Okay, thank God, 877. Oh, so it was heal. What? Oh my fucking God. And game. I didn't think it would do much, but I figured they would be able to hang, fucking be able to keep the ball out of the net while I was just fucking around up there trying to disrupt them a little bit. But yeah. We're gonna go ahead, take off Europe, because I think we've been getting some good US matches. We're gonna go off Central though. We're just gonna be hanging on the East and West Coast. Yep, game server is full. Fuck. We'll see what's going on, what it's looking like. Yep. Oh yeah. That's not a bad shot. That's a musty movement. That's kind of funny. Fuck. Fuck that one. Alright. Ooh! Goddamn. I really should, I guess, we, do in fact need the US Central. Because, holy shit, 10 minutes? Still 10 minutes. But I'm just searching in the regular 3-on-3 heat seeker too. What the fuck? What time? It is 7:11 right now. If like, quite frankly, if we can't get matches, there's no point in me streaming, just casual. Still not. Fuck. I guess we leave it as is. Hopefully it gets us a little bit better luck. Oh man. Woo! So now it's only about 2 minutes, but that's still a bit of a wait. Oh, we got a match. Here we go. Alrighty. Okay. I forgot this is EU. This shit's gonna happen before I see it happen. Yep, I wasn't anywhere close to end goal. 160 on the ping for me and Thero Simon, so both of us are fucking NA, is what I'm saying, basically. The only reason mine could be even like a little bit better than his is I used an Ethernet connection. Oh boy. Okay. We're getting somewhere. This is EU, right? Yeah. Yeah. I figured. This fucking ho fucking boost trail is pissing me off. God damn it. Hold on. Can we tell? An abominable throw man. It might be him. Or it might be Italy. Okay. Aggie 3? Oh fuck. Yeah. I'll go ahead and do that because I just fucking missed that shit so hard. I don't even know if that was him like redirecting that around where I was already, or if that was actually me fucking missing that. I'm never gonna blame King, because, well, quite frankly, it is a problem, but it's not one that you should ever blame your fucking skills issues on. Fuck. Huh. Fuck. Okay. Big Gamer, thank you for the follow. Alrighty. Oop, okay. You got it? Good. Oh boy, we're in the purple zone. Fuck. Hey, Big Gamer, I'm just doing solos right now. It's in the title. It's at the very end of the title, which I probably should move it, but yeah. Oh my god. Yep. And that's the vote to concede from everybody. We leaving the game. Yeah. Alrighty. What else? What else? Yeah, I think we can do one more match. No? Come on. Really? I guess that has been taking us a minute to get a game. Alrighty. Oh, fuck. Nope. Yeah, I'm just doing some air dribble training. I don't mind saying hi. At least Hunter said hi too. Oof, if that had been on any more target, no one was there to cover that. Ooh. Oh, thank God. Hopefully I got a save in there. Hunter, for real. God damn. EU servers. Oh, we got a chat. We got a chat. We got a chatter. Got a chatterbot. A meal? Is that a meal? A meal? Oh, Hunter gets our first goal. We also got Hakatan, Narik, Ole, Oi, Wheel, We, Silent Puma. That's definitely a fucking like Epic Games fucking generated name. That's like an Epic Box, Epic Box, Epic Games or Xbox fucking generated name. Got the epic save. Famalam, did not need your help. That one didn't need your help, I do. Alright. We get that. A little save. Alright, that's fine. Okay, that works. Go up and around and in for Hunter. Alright. Hunter is just popping off, I guess. First... Oh, Hunter is a champ in 2s. But he's gold in 3s, rumble, and then plat in 1s. So, like, he's actually a good player. A beagle? What is a beagle like? How? How in the world did those two find a party? They've got like opposite, like opposite, yeah, opposite golds. That's fucking insane. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Don't know where he got that one from. Oh. Ah. Gotcha. Oh my god, I thought he missed that shit. I want some pointos too, maybe. I got a fucking shot on goal. Didn't see too much. We couldn't see if he had like perfect time for if he had time to recover off of that or not. Oh shit. Whoopsies. Shit. I'm completely lost. We're gonna leave that there. Too high. Yoinkers! Silent Booma. I've been on that. You love balls or WTF? Stealing every redirect and touch. Oh, that's game. XD. What the fuck was that? Man's lost the kickoff. The kick off. What the fuck was that? Never mind. Lost the kickoff. Oh. I'm gonna beat you guys. What did I just play for real? For real? Peace. I'm out. Oh god, that was funny as fuck. Oh boy, oh boy. We have fun here, don't we? Right, guys? But yeah, I'm gonna be bringing this here to a close. Here in a few minutes. Hello, Rosie Lee. How's it going? Not much. I'm actually getting close to ending stream, to be honest. Yeah, sorry. But, how's it going with you? What's up? How you doing? Ooh, spicy pinch. That's a shot. My day's going good. Yeah, I'm not doing, not doing bad. But, yeah, how's your day going? What you think about, the stream? Is it doing good? Good, sound good? Yeah, just any little feedback for me? I don't give a shit if it's, nice or not. Whee! Oh, I think my dog actually needs to go out, which is perfect timing. Yeah. No dice. Damn it, missed. Oh. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here, everyone. I do pretty much stream 6 days a week. I stream pretty much every day except for Sunday. I will be streaming this game, Rocket League, again tomorrow. And then I've got Enter the Gungeon on Wednesday. It would then be Moonlighter on Wednesday, and then Slime Rancher, I believe, Thursday. Or no, Friday. But yeah, I've got a schedule posted. You can check it out, see what times I'm streaming. I normally stream like early in the morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, just a very early stream, like 6 days a week. I play this game, Rocket League, the most. I stream it 3 days a week. I also stream it on Saturdays. So Rocket League gets Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday. It's just the game I enjoy playing the most, so I stream it the most. A lot of the other games I also like really did enjoy when I first found them, but it's been a while since I played them. So yeah, I'm like basically relearning it, but also having like some knowledge of it as well. Which is the best way to experience any game, is to have some knowledge of it and how it works, but also be learning it as well. Whoop-a. And then... But yeah, I do play this one, Rocket League, the most. That was a fail. I'm back and let me try again. Oh, thank you for the follow. Yeah, thank you very much for the follow. If you do end up seeing another stream, hey, thank you. If you don't, oh, well, hey, I stream at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's all good. But yeah, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I don't know, I don't mind. Go ahead. Bum. A 58, that's not bad. And what idea for the channel would that be? Any ideas for the channel? Any like game suggestions for me to play? Anything is welcome, yeah. I'm always up to consider something. But all I do offer is my consideration for it. I'm not guaranteeing anything. Oh, that's cool. Um, quite frankly, I'm fine with like all of the quite frankly, I'm fine with all of the like the artwork and stuff I've got right now. All of it was done by me, so I don't really have to pay anyone else for it or give anybody else credit for it because I did all the work for it. Um, or like it's not stuff, you know. But yeah, like my current banner, my current logo. I don't do emotes besides like the basic ones. I don't even have sub badges. But like my overlay, the one that's currently on the screen, the little gradient frame, I did that. I have a on taking a break screen, like an intermission screen that I did myself. I'm currently not just not in the market for any kind of artwork or anything. But yeah, thank you for stopping by, for chatting, saying hi, following. It's been a lovely time, but it is time for me to put this stream to bed. Uh, got life and stuff. But yeah, thank you. Thank you and everybody else for watching, for following. Uh, I have been the worst five, and peace.